Today I'm going to talk to you about critical and late sales orders. My name is Hans Martin. Thank you for having me. My colleague, Martijn Schuitemaker, he'll be any support. If you've got any questions, he's the guy to ask. So what are we? I didn't know much about ERIKS before I started working there about a year ago. So I'll just give you a short introduction. We're a technical, sales-driven multinational. We work in two main markets, the OEM market, the original equipment manufacturer. Think of diamond shipyards, shipbuilding. If you have valves, we sell it to them, and that product then gets sold to the end customer. We also have the MRO market, the maintenance, repair, overhaul. Our products are sold to companies such as Heineken, Friesland Campina, in terms of rubber washers or gaskets, and that's used in their production facilities. So this is an important distinction. So what are our main processes? Processes, I suppose, are sales, procurement, production, and logistical activities. Now, one of the problems we have are varying delivery dates. Now, these varying delivery dates, if you type in a sales order in SAP, then usually there's a procurement order or production order. Now, these dates can vary, and that means that you can eventually, the salesmen are delivering orders which are late to customers. This is something you want to avoid. Now, we already have the manual awareness, I called it, which is a list of the open orders. Now, this is basically gives salespeople a list of all the open orders they can have, but it doesn't actually tell them about the critical or the late ones. So it's hard for them to make a distinction. So what's our problem description? Well, due to these varying delivery dates, we have a reduction in delivery performance, and that's also leads to customer dissatisfaction, which is not what you want, particularly if you're a sales-driven organization. So just talk about some related issues. Well, being a wholesaler, it's very important that we fulfill our promises on operational excellence. We deliver when we say we deliver. This can, if we don't do this, it can lead to a loss of customers, which can lead to a reduction in turnover. So it's very important to create an awareness amongst the sales force. Awareness of these variable delivery dates. So what's the ideal solution? Well, what we wanted to have, this was a couple of years ago, to have a sort of automatic awareness, an email which is sent to all the sales force every morning at 7:30, so when they sit behind their desks with a cup of coffee at 8 o'clock, they can immediately see which emails or which sales orders need to be adjusted. And of course, this email should contain all the critical and the late positions. Now, in order to achieve this, we had to, in conjunction with every angle, we had to define delivery performance. Now, of course, people may have different definitions of this, so we defined it as being the first confirmed delivery date in relation to the actual delivery date. We also had to define customer satisfaction. That would be the last confirmed delivery date, because obviously these two can vary from the first delivery date in comparison to the actual delivery date. Well, this is a solution. Every angle does its run. Berekende datum. This is probably the most important one. This is a PDF or a print screen of the email that salesmen receive. And it just is a list of all the critical and late sales orders. But this berekende datum, the expected delivery date, that's the most important file. I'll get onto that in a second. Every angle does its run every evening. This file gets saved onto the network. Now, during this time, we didn't have the software or every angle didn't quite have the software to split it and deliver it to all the different salesmen. So we devised our own. This is then ERIKS, our tool, splits it, sends it to the individual salesman, and the content looks like this. They receive this as an attachment to their email every morning. Now, as I said before, this expected delivery date, the berekende leverdatum, this is every angle, and it basically looks at all the different variables in your sales order. It goes to your procurement, it goes to your production, and it spits out a realistic delivery date. On the basis of this, it looks at your last confirmed delivery date, and it says, right, your order's critical, or it's too late. So that's critical delivery performance number 2. That's the most important column, and that's the one I want to focus on. So delivery performance number 2. What is a critical sales order? Well, a critical sales order is this. If we're in the present, 2nd of January, and we have a confirmed date on the 4th, but the actual delivery date, that calculated date from every angle, is on the 6th. That's a critical order. Now, there's many things we can do. We actually have 2 solutions. We can call the customer, and they may not accept the later delivery date, in which case we have to find an alternative product, or we have to call production and get them to speed up the production, do whatever. In this case, you can save your delivery performance, and you can increase your customer satisfaction because you've informed them. You can also call the client and they may just accept a later delivery date, in which case, well, your delivery performance decreases, but your customer satisfaction does actually increase because you've been transparent. So what's a late order? Well, as you may have guessed, right here we are in the present, you confirmed it in the past, and your actual delivery date's in the future, so either way, you're going to deliver it and it's going to be late. So there's only one solution: call the customer, and he's got to accept the late delivery date. So the only thing you can do, the only thing you can hope for is hope for customer satisfaction. So what's the main lesson here? This angle has only helped us really to increase customer satisfaction, which is a bit of a qualitative, it's a bit of an airy-fairy topic. It's difficult to gauge, but it does actually save your delivery performance. So what are our results? Well, if we look at our sales force, they're one of roughly 6,000 open order positions every day. These aren't new order positions, these are recurring, because sales orders, they can last weeks or months. We've improved our delivery performance over the past year and a half, by about 2%, simply because salesmen know when to act, and how to inform the customer. Now, improving customer satisfaction, as I said, it's quite hard to gauge. I mean, how do you want to call up the customers and say, are you happy with ERIKS? I mean, so many customers, 130,000 in Holland. But from the salesmen, we've really heard that it's become a fundamental tool by which they have more power, they have more time, they have more resources to think of alternative solutions to provide the customer. And that's what it's about. Now, obviously, we've maintained turnover. Our turnover has increased the past couple of years, but, well, to say it's directly attributed to this angle is difficult. Now, let's just explain a few limitations, because there are some. ERIKS. If you think of ignorance, we've got salesmen that have been working for ERIKS for 35 years, and if you give them the telephone, they'll talk the back legs off a donkey. They'll sell you anything. It's great. But when it comes to interpreting an Excel file with 10 different columns, yeah, it can be a bit tricky. So it's important to teach these people not to be afraid and not to worry too much about the different columns, and just teach them how it works. Discipline, even though this is automatic awareness, you still have to actually open the email and check your Excel file, and some people just don't do it. So in that case, yeah, those are the limitations. Now, of course, I'm standing here giving quite a good promotional talk for every angle and how they've improved our business, but there are also certain limitations on every angle side. Over the past year, if the every angle server doesn't run in the evening, which happened a couple of times, I think that's being improved now with the new one. Then our salesmen, they don't receive these critical and late lists. Now, this is two-part. On the one hand, it's critical for every angle because we need this angle, and if the server doesn't run, then we've got a problem. But on the other hand, it's also a compliment, because every angle has delivered us with a tool which is so fundamental to our business processes that if it doesn't work, our telephone glows red hot the entire day, salesmen not knowing which orders are critical or late. So in that respect, it's perfect.
Thank you.